Hello, friends. My name is Natasha.
And I'm Camille.
And together, we're the Dank Duo. Today, we're here to talk to you all about this week's national news.
Our first issue today is regarding the militia that has developed in Oregon. Recently, a bunch of white guys decided that they didn't want to follow the federal government's laws dictating where they can and cannot commit arson.
The ranchers, Dwight Hammond Jr., 73, and his son, 43, were convicted of federal arson charges stemming from two fires set on federal land near their ranch. The federal government is seeking around $1 million in compensation, to which the Hammonds are refusing to pay. They are each to serve out a 5-year minimum sentence for arson under federal law, but they decided that they don't want to.
Then we have the Bundys.
Oh yes, the Bundys.
After that armed standoff a few years ago between Cliven, thank you, Bundy and the federal government, after Bundy decided he didn't want to pay the fees required to let his cattle graze on federal land, he kind of went off the grid.
And now he's back, sort of, with his sons, Ammon and Ryan, who seem to be leading the takeover. They have announced that they have taken over the Malheur Wildlife Refuge, where they have established a base for their militia.
Their demands are that the federal government release the Hammonds and give the federal land in question back to state and local governments, and for the wildlife refuge to be shut down. Their plan is to stay there forever until they get what they want.
Think of a 5-year-old child who really wants a candy bar, even though his parents already said no, so he promises to sit down in the store until he gets his candy bar.
Except instead of 5-year-olds, they're middle-aged men with big guns.
And instead of candy, it's dropped arson charges and federal land. Hey Camille, you know what this reminds me of?
What, Natasha?
The ongoing conflict between state and federal government.
You mean marble cake federalism?
Yes, this is a perfect example of how state and federal government continue to be at odds with each other.
So far, the federal government has not yet reacted to these crazy people. Stay tuned.
Next issue.
Obama's new executive action.
In lieu of the hundreds of mass shootings that have occurred over the years since Sandy Hook, Obama announced an executive action calling for increased background checks for gun sales, taking advantage of his privilege as president to do so. Obama is pushing to reinterpret the differentiation between who must conduct background checks and who doesn't have to, known as the infamous gun show loophole.
He gave a heartfelt speech on the subject and cried like John Boehner. Thank you. The law states that those engaged in the business must conduct background checks, but those who aren't, such as individuals selling guns at gun shows, don't have to.
Obama's calling for a reinterpretation of the phrase engaged in the business to extend that to include gun shows and internet salespeople.
Congress does have the power to override this executive action, as per the checks and balances instituted between the branches of the federal government.
So let's hope they don't.
Next issue. Oh no. Natasha, what's happening?
I don't know, but it sounds like
North Korea! North Korea just announced that it has successfully tested their first hydrogen bomb.
Finally, some good news.
At around 8:30 Eastern Time, something exploded, generating a 5.1 seismic event underground. Many are saying now that the initial analysis of seismic waves generated are not consistent with a hydrogen bomb, so it seems the North Koreans are getting a bit ahead of themselves.
Although nothing is conclusive, experts are saying that while it may not have been a full-out hydrogen bomb, it is very possible that Pyongyang detonated some sort of nuclear bomb.
The United Nations Security Council held a closed-door meeting on the subject, geared towards preventing North Korea from obtaining any more weapons, and punishing them for the test earlier that day, since it was in clear violation of past resolution and treaties.
Now, for our local issue.
On a lighter note, a local dog named Sad Eyes, oh, how cute is that?
So cute.
Oh, God, has just been named Culver City's Pet of the Week!
Sad Eyes is an adorable 4-year-old male pit bull available for adoption at the PetSmart Charities Adoption Center on Washington Boulevard.
Culver City's Pet of the Week serves to give each unadopted pet a chance to be on the political agenda.
The political agenda!
And heightens their chances of being adopted into a loving home.
Now for our op-ed.
This is a wonderful little piece called Donald Trump Should Tell Brits Where to Stick Their Crumpets.
This is by Todd Starnes, published January 6, 2016, on Fox News Opinion Editorial.
What this lovely little op-ed explains is that the United Kingdom is voting to ban Donald Trump from the nation due to his anti-Muslim and anti-immigrant views, stating that his presence will not be conducive to the public good.
As this article states, the British seem to be taking a page from the Obama administration. Blame everybody but the folks blowing up. Who cares what these redcoats think? This is the nation that gave us boy bands, bad food, and Piers Morgan.
No, this old white man, he is old and white, right?
Probably.
He's probably old and white. Let's check. Yep, he's old and white. You know who else is old and white? Gandalf! Anyway, this old white man is pretty much the epitome of at least 37% of the Republican Party. I recommend this to anyone who wants to frustrate themselves.
You know, this worries me. This is a man whose face is always in the news, much more than any other candidate. He's getting so much popularity for saying weird stuff.
He has control over what we call
the political agenda. People are so caught up in Donald Trump's charisma that they can't see that what he's saying is detrimental to our country and ridiculously absurd.
I think the United Kingdom has the right idea. Ban people with dumb ideas before they can infiltrate.
Hopefully, the United States is next.
Can you believe that the Republican frontrunner is an orange old man with fuzzy toupee, Tupac, that's fooling nobody who wants to have sex with his daughter?
It blows my mind.
And now, optional free choice.
This season's bachelor, Ben Higgins, is the most boring bachelor ever. Well, that's it for this show. We hope we were informative, and we hope you enjoyed our podcast. And we'd like to thank Arby's for sponsoring us.